Matthew Burke. That's a name I remember from years ago because you fought one of my close friends, Stephen Truscott, your old nemesis.
Yeah.
You boxed for Newham ABC, which was very successful back in the 90s. East End Gym.
Yeah.
Stephen, in one season, won schoolboys, junior ABAs, and the boys' clubs.
Yeah.
And I think the three people he boxed, obviously he beat you, he beat Riley, and there was a guy called Chapman.
Yeah, Tony.
And
Did he box Tony?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you sure?
100%, I've checked. And then basically when Stephen beat him, basically your trainer said, he's beat all my lads now. So you were a schoolboy champion. You beat Stephen in the first fight.
Yeah.
You boxed for England. What got you into boxing, Matthew?
I think, well, there was a couple of things, but part of it, first thing was seeing Tony Chapman. I used to go to the same school as him, and he brought in a trophy. So this is when I must have been 7 when I went, and he brought in this trophy into the class, and everyone was like, oh. And yeah, I wanted one. And then how I ended up going, my next door neighbours, I think it was his cousin, he was a lot older. We used to see him going with his gloves and that to the gym. And and then he took his cousin, and then he was my mate, and then I went with him, and then that's how it started. And then ended up at Tony's club.
Yeah.
With Joe.
So the East End boxing, it's a massive thing in the culture. Everyone in the East End is a boxer. Why is there so many gyms in the East End then, is that?
I just think it's because it's so popular, and it's...
I mean, people used to do it at schools.
A lot of rough areas as well, so I think it helps get people off the street. So that's why you get a lot around it.
And so as an amateur boxer then, what did you do? How many did you have?
Give or take 1 or 2, because I haven't got my card, but I had about 65.
Right.
And one around 50.
Right. So any famous names out there that you boxed?
Yeah, Stuart Hall.
World champion.
Boxed him twice.
Yeah.
Lost the first one, although it was a terrible decision. It was up in Hull. Darnham.
That's where he's from, actually.
Darnham, yeah, that was a bad decision. But then boxed him again down in London and beat him. Other names.
Patrick Humphreys, remember him?
Yeah, Humphreys.
He could punch, couldn't he?
Hardest punch I've ever been in the ring with.
Who else? Walsh, was it?
Martin Walsh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, I met him not long ago on doing the pro course. He was on the same one. We had a great catch up.
So what were your fights like with Stephen Truscott then? Because you fought in 94 and then...
Not 94 and 96. 96 was it, yeah?
Yeah. So schoolboy final and boys club final.
First one, beat him on points. It was a tough fight, it was non-stop.
Yeah.
Second one, I hadn't actually trained for that. Earlier to that, I slipped the disc.
He said.
And luckily, because I had a good reputation as hitting hard for my age and weight, a couple pulled out of the lead up, and I ended up going through to the semi-finals, and we went along to it knowing I couldn't fight, but we went along anyway. And when they didn't want to take the fight when it was me, and then the final was Truscott. Obviously he wanted the fight revenge, so I had to fight. We sprayed my back.
You put him down in the first round as well, didn't you?
Yeah, he touched down. And,
that was some knock. It's actually on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it.
Yeah, it's funny because the video on YouTube.
Nassim Ahmed was ringside for that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I never put that video up, and I just come across it one day.
I think Stephen must have put it on, Stephen's dad or something.
I think it was because I messaged. I said, "Where did this come from?" Right? I'm Matthew Burke. I'm in the video, and he said, he messaged me privately. He said, "I'm Stephen's dad."
Yeah, he's sadly passed now.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But he said, Stephen still said to this day, that's the hardest he was ever hit, because he'd never been dropped.
He was invincible, that kid. Like,
yeah, he was tough. He was tough.
He had 36, 128 as an amateur. I think he retired for a year or something, and he come back. The second time he had 28, 128.
Yeah.
And beat Nicky Cook in the boys' clubs after he beat you. And won 4 titles back to back, and then just walked away from the sport. very tragic. But so you went pro, Matthew.
Yeah.
Won 2, lost 2.
Yeah.
But the two losses went in bad company, really, were they?
No,
John Simpson, Commonwealth, British champion.
Yeah.
And John Murray was fought for a world title.
Yeah.
Any regrets about going pro?
Yeah. To be honest, I only think of it now. Going pro was a bit of a fallback because I wanted to go in the, which sounds silly, boxing as a fallback. But I wanted to go. I had thoughts of going in the Air Force, but I suffered really bad because I went to college to do stuff to go into the military. I wanted to go in the Air Force as a pilot, and I got the grades needed to apply. And then when they were asking me about allergies and anything, and then they said like if you suffer bad hay fever, they wouldn't even consider you. This was what first must be 20 years ago when I went, like 22 years ago. So I don't know if things have changed now, but they said it costs millions to train a pilot. They wouldn't even consider it if you're suffering with lots of allergies, and so that didn't go. And then I went to go in the fire brigade. Never got through to that, and then I just started back training again. And then I was with Johnny Eames, and then Barry Hearn wanted to sign me. Signed with Barry Hearn.
Matru.
Yeah, that's how old I am. And I know, but to be honest, I wasn't giving it everything. I didn't want to be boxing. It sounds strange. Yeah.
So you really, in hindsight, probably should have given it another 4 or 5 years when you even got your man strength and all that.
Yeah.
Definitely turned over too early, didn't you?
I did go back to boxing when I was 25, 26, and I felt great. I'd put on a bit of weight. I was even sparred a couple of, even up to light heavyweight. I sparred one of the light heavyweights up there a couple of times, and even they said, "Well, you get hard for your weight." And but injuries, I tore ligaments and tendon and ligaments in my elbow, and that never recovered. And then arthritis set in, and I just. In the end, Johnny Eames, he just said to me, "Look, you need 2 good hands."
Yeah.
And I just kept getting, I was doing well, then boom, my arm was gone and it would lock up. And in the end, it was, that was it. I had to.
It's fair to say though, Matthew, boxing's been a massive part of your life and is. So what do you do these days then?
Coaching, head coach. I started coaching here before. Like Left Hook has been around over 20 years.
Has it?
Not in this location, but other locations. I just saw here they were looking for coaches, and must be 12 years ago now. And I came here, and there was no amateur team, just recreational. But I started a couple of sessions a week I was doing, and then just built it up from there. And then eventually asked to start an amateur team. I did. I said, and because I'd proven I was working hard and dedicated, they let me start the amateurs, and we've been 5 seasons now, but 4 active seasons really because of COVID and everything.
So your gym is Left Hook ABC?
Yeah.
So you're on Warrior Boxing and everything?
Sorry?
On Warrior Boxing? On Warrior Boxing, the website?
The website is, it's up there actually, lefthook.co.uk.
Right. How many carded boxers have you got then, the amateurs?
We probably, before lockdown, we had, I think 15, 16 carded. And in the time that we've been an amateur club, so 4 active seasons, we've produced 7 different champions across all levels, from development up to elite level, and in different tournaments all over, and we've got 19 gold medals between them, so not bad in 4 years. Yeah,
because I remember talking to you when you first started out. It's a stressful business though, isn't it, looking after boxers and all that?
Yeah, it can be.
Boxers are really thick as well, aren't they?
But
hard work.
I am, but
yeah.
No, there's a few here that it's like studying law and studying all sorts. Yeah.
Do you ever switch off from boxing?
Not so much.
Right.
No. I mean, I do. I'm not like when I go home at night. I'm not constantly watching it. I've been around boxing over 30 years, 33 years now, I think. So I don't still go home watching boxing every night because that would be too much for me now.
Yeah. So, do you know, tell me about your gym then. So we'll have a look about.
Yeah. So yeah, this is where, well, just skipping there, this is Marie, she was one of my amateurs. We won nine gold medals together. She went to the World Championships representing France, which actually, there's one of her vests there, she donated to us to put up, so on the wall there. And yeah, she was originally picked for England, but they didn't know. This is another one of our champions running down the stairs. 3 times gold medalist,
Right.
So England wanted her originally, but they didn't realise she was French. So when I explained that, they were like, oh shit. So she wasn't eligible for a passport. That would have been the only way she could have represented England. But she boxed for London, and then then France heard England wanted her and put her on a trial, and then she smashed the trial.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a little separate video on Marie in a minute. But regarding your gym, left hook, I had a look on the website the other day and I was really impressed. You are in the top 5 gyms in London.
That's good.
I think the Peacock, the Repton, but top 5. And I mean, I've been wanting about London all week, and the amount of gyms.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. So how did you get top 5? So not only are you an amateur club, you're pro now. You keep people off the street, don't you?
Yeah.
Can people? So people watching this, can you come in and just exercise, keep fit?
Yeah, anyone. I mean, like I say, we started as a recreational club, so and that's how we managed, because we don't get any funding or anything. So that's how we managed to put on the amateurs, by getting busy with the recreational. And we get people from all over, to be fair, not just the local area. We've had people. A funny story, I had one guy message me on Instagram from Nigeria.
Right.
Saying he wanted to come to the gym and box, and I thought, that's a joke, like winding me up. And then 3 weeks later, big guy walks in the door. I looked at him, I recognised him. I said, "Are you Derek?" He went, "Yeah." so he came all the way from Nigeria to train here.
Really?
Just because he loved what he saw on the Instagram.
That's incredible.
Which is left up boxing.
So how can people get in touch with you, Matthew? Because this is going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to put all the links in for Left Hook. So if anyone's watching this now on YouTube, how can they get in touch with Matthew Bear? Think, right, I'm going to come here, I'm going to send my kids here, I'm going to come here, keep fit, whatever. It's a very, very impressive gym you've got. So how can people get in touch?
Main way I would say is just either our website, which is lefthook.co.uk, or Instagram. To be honest, is Instagram. The messages are answered immediately. You know, that's where we get a lot of. We put up everything that's going on with our amateur team, our recreational team. So they look on Instagram, Left Hook Boxing. They'll see what we do, everything we run. And we're updating that daily. So that's got all our footage of past fights, what's happening in the future, and so on. And anyone can message there and they'll get a reply.
And what's the plans for the future? You're building like an empire, really, aren't you? You're going to be. Do you see yourself being here another 25 years?
Yeah, I don't see myself ever going anywhere. I started the amateur team here with the permission of my bosses, Honor and Enzo, and I want to see it out until I can't move it.
Them two guys were 2 ex-pros, weren't they?
Enzo was ex-pro, Honor was an amateur, tough amateur. But he never went pro, he went more the business route and work, and he actually runs that My Next Match, which is a great platform for any sport.
Right.
Yeah, but Enzo was a pro, he was good. But again, we talk a lot, we both have regrets, didn't train properly.
Do you ever get the itch to put some gloves on again, do a bit of sparring?
Yeah, always.
Do you train much?
No.
Right.
I do a bit now and again, but I need to get back on it. With lockdown, that's when I stopped
doing anything. So yeah, I will be getting the gloves on soon enough.
So, Left Hook Gym in the heart of the East End. I think this is classed as Wapping, isn't it? Shadwell?
Shadwell. Right outside the station there.
Yeah, it's not far off Commercial Road, Whitechapel Road. And anyone who comes in will be really welcomed.
Yeah, always.
A very Cockney welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. I must say, Matthew, you are seriously Cockney.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bottle of water.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to put all the links in this video. If anyone's interested in coming along, having a look about, knows about in Left Hook Gym in the heart of the East End, chat to Matthew, anything at all, he's very approachable and warm and welcome.